You are watching Space, the Final Frontier, above and beyond an open-minded channel. For your entertainment, we are taking a close look at January 6, 1976, a birthday drive into the unknown. It began as something simple. Mona Stafford was turning 36. On a cold winter night in rural Kentucky, an ordinary birthday celebration became one of the most chilling UFO encounters ever investigated. One that would draw the attention of some of the most respected names in ufology, including J. Allen Hynek and organizations like MUFON and APRO. This is the story of the Stanford, Kentucky incident, January 6, 1976. Three friends set out to celebrate Mona Stafford's birthday. She and her friends Louise Smith and Elaine Thomas made the familiar 35-mile drive from Liberty to a cozy roadside stop known as the Redwoods Restaurant. The night was uneventful. Laughter, food, and no alcohol. Nothing that would later explain what they were about to experience. At 11:15 p.m., they began the drive home. Louise drove her 1967 Chevy Nova through the dark Kentucky backroads, eventually turning onto Highway 78 near Stanford. The roads were quiet, empty, still. Then the sky changed. A burning red light appeared ahead. At first, Mona thought it was a plane in distress, maybe even crashing. But as it descended lower, closer, the truth became far more disturbing. This was no aircraft they had ever seen before. Hovering just ahead of them, blocking the road, was a massive object. Larger than two houses, glowing, silent. It rocked slowly, as if suspended in defiance of gravity. Then, without warning, it drifted off to the left, vanishing into the darkness. The women, shaken but trying to remain rational, kept driving. That's when it came back. A blue light suddenly flooded the rear window. For a brief moment, they thought it was law enforcement. It wasn't. The object had circled behind them and was now following. Then the impossible happened. Without warning, the car accelerated on its own. Louise's foot was off the gas pedal. The speedometer surged past 80 miles per hour, but the engine wasn't even running. The dashboard lights indicated a stall, but the vehicle kept racing forward as if pulled by an unseen force. Mona tried to help regain control. It was useless. Their eyes burned intensely, as though exposed to radiation or extreme light. Ahead, the road transformed. For a brief moment, they saw something that didn't belong. A wide, brilliantly illuminated roadway, unnatural and out of place. And then, it was gone. All three women fell into unconsciousness. When they came back to awareness, they were no longer where they should have been. They were near Houstonville, 8 miles further down the road. But that wasn't the most terrifying part. They checked the time. 1 hour and 20 minutes had vanished. Gone. Unaccounted for. They arrived home nearly 90 minutes late. Inside, the horror continued. Each woman had identical burn-like marks on the back of their necks. Their eyes were inflamed and painfully irritated. Louise removed her watch and witnessed something she would never forget. The hands were spinning wildly, far faster than normal. Time itself seemed broken. When she splashed water on her face, it burned her skin on contact. Something serious had happened to them. The investigation begins. Shaken, the women reported the event to a neighbor who asked them to independently sketch what they had seen. The results were nearly identical. Authorities were contacted, but showed little interest. However, that would soon change. As word of the encounter began to spread through Lincoln and Casey counties, the case took an unexpected turn, one that hinted at quiet government awareness. In the hours following the incident, the women attempted to report what had happened, contacting local authorities and even reaching out to a nearby U.S. Navy recruiting office. While no official investigation was ever publicly confirmed, reports indicate that personnel at the Navy office took down details of the encounter, and soon after, information about the sighting began circulating in regional news outlets. This marked the moment the story moved from a private terror into the public eye. Newspapers quickly picked up the account, and it wasn't long before the case reached the desks of civilian UFO researchers. Among the first to respond was Jerry Black of MUFON, who arranged in-depth interviews with the three women. Their testimony was consistent, detailed, and deeply unsettling. The case soon drew national attention within the scientific UFO community. Renowned astronomer and former Project Blue Book consultant J. Allen Hynek, representing the Center for UFO Studies, joined the investigation. He was accompanied by veteran researchers Jim Lorenzen and Coral Lorenzen of the Aerial Phenomena Research Organization, one of the most respected civilian UFO research groups of the era. What they uncovered only deepened the mystery. Multiple independent witnesses across the region, people with no connection to the three women, reported seeing a strange aerial object in the sky that same night. The sightings aligned in both time and location, reinforcing the possibility that whatever the women encountered had been visible to others. Then came the final piece. After learning of the case, psychologist R. Leo Sprinkle of the University of Wyoming traveled to Kentucky to conduct a deeper investigation. On March 7, 1976, he performed preliminary hypnotic regression sessions with the women, sessions that would begin to unlock the missing time and reveal a far more disturbing account of what may have happened after the car left the road that night. In July 1976, Lexington Police Detective James Young administered polygraph tests to all three women. Each one passed. No deception detected. They believed what they were saying. Then through hypnosis came the most disturbing chapter. While under hypnosis, conducted by R. Leo Sprinkle, the missing time began to unravel. What emerged was one of the most famous abduction cases in history. The women described being taken aboard the craft. Inside, they encountered shadowy beings, not human. They were subjected to medical examinations, cold, clinical, invasive, bright lights, strange instruments, a sense of total helplessness, then blank, nothing, until they were back in the car. Nearly 50 years later, the Stanford, Kentucky encounter remains one of the most compelling UFO cases on record. Multiple witnesses, physical evidence, corroborating sightings, polygraph confirmation, and a missing hour that no one has ever been able to explain. Was it a military experiment, an unknown natural phenomenon, or something far more extraterrestrial? For those who study the unknown, one thing is certain. On that quiet Kentucky highway, they know the women were not alone. They know that their memories had been wiped, and they know why they couldn't remember. Under hypnosis, they remembered they were not the first, and they would not be the last. Dr. Sprinkle knew the human mind has a way of holding on to trauma, even when it's been buried. Weeks later, under his hypnotic treatments, the truth began to surface, and what they described would haunt investigators for decades. One moment, they were in the car, gripping the seats, blinded by light, and the next, they were somewhere else, a clean room. They describe how it didn't feel like they were walking, just floating. There were no doors, no footsteps, no sound. Then they were inside a room in the craft. This room was not a room like anything on Earth. The walls smooth, seamless, no corners, no seams, no visible source of light. Yet everything glowed. It was cold, white, clinical, like an operating room, built by something that had studied humans, but didn't quite understand them. They weren't alone. Figures moved in the light. Tall, thin, unnatural. Their heads too large. Their eyes dark, endless, unreadable. They didn't speak, not with words. The communication came another way. Direct, intrusive. Like thoughts that weren't their own, commands without sound, calm without comfort. Then came the table. Cold beneath their backs. They couldn't move. They couldn't scream. They could only watch as the beings surrounded them. The light felt intense, blinding. It poured down over their bodies. Shapes moved above them. Instruments, unfamiliar, impossible to describe. They felt pressure, heat, a burning sensation, especially around the eyes and the neck. The beings displayed no anger towards them, no cruelty. But there was no empathy either, only purpose, like scientists studying something beneath them. Time lost, minutes or hours they couldn't tell, because something was happening beyond the physical, something deeper. And then, just as suddenly as it began, it was over. They were back in the car, the road beneath them, the night unchanged, but nothing was the same. The encounter didn't end that night. Mona Stafford developed severe conjunctivitis, requiring medical treatment to her eyes. Louise Smith's car began suffering unexplained electrical failures. Her pet parakeet became terrified of her and died. Terrifying whispers in their thoughts would spark memories that were meant to remain hidden, locked away deep into their subconscious, behind something they couldn't break through. Memories of being taken. Decades later, this story remains a mystery that echoes similarity with many abduction cases throughout the world. Thank you, Mona Stafford, Louise Smith, and Elaine Thomas, for bravely sharing your story with the world. You have been watching Space: The Final Frontier, Above and Beyond, an open-minded channel. If you have enjoyed this story of Mona Stafford, Louise Smith, and Elaine Thomas, then like and subscribe so you won't miss the next time we dive into the Above and Beyond.